Harlequin presents and HarperAudio present Two Secrets to Shock the Italian by Lynne Graham, performed by Melanie Crawley. Chapter 1. Aristide Angelico, billionaire founder of Angelico Technologies and a once legendary playboy, rested back in his limousine as he was ferried to Luke Walker's memorial service. 6 feet 4 inches, he was built like an athlete, lean and muscular in every long line, with unruly black curls, bright green eyes, and a startlingly handsome face. He questioned what he was doing. "Why are you going to this?" his PA had asked him casually that morning. You hardly knew the man. The answer? Aristide was attending out of pure unvarnished curiosity. The death of an innocent cyclist in busy traffic on his very first day of permanent work had ironically made the news. Aristide had been stunned when he recognized the photo. He had not, however, been keen to see his ex weeping over the coffin of her late husband. It would all have been a fake show, a demonstration of the reality that she had about as much emotional depth as a puddle. So he had ducked the funeral, choosing to attend the memorial service instead. Aristide had Scarlett Pearson, the dewy-eyed primary school teacher, in his bed for almost a year, and he had believed he knew her inside out. But surprise, surprise, he reflected cynically, he had proved to be just as foolishly trusting as many men when it came to a tiny, beautiful redhead. Certainly, Aristide had been stunned when, within weeks of becoming inexplicably unavailable, Scarlett had announced, by cowardly text, that she was getting married to Luke Walker. Luke, her best friend from childhood, and a relationship that she had repeatedly assured Aristide was pure and platonic. More fool him for trusting her. In spite of all the precautions Aristide had taken to keep himself invulnerable, he had ended up almost being a fool for a woman, just as his grandfather and father had been, just as his late twin brother Daniele had been. The Angelico men had a poor track record with the opposite sex. As a teenager, Aristide had sworn to remain a playboy, and for years that resolve had held fast. The golden years of youth, ignorance, and irresponsibility, he labelled that period now. He was only 29, but he had been a stud at 18, determined never to tie his future to either a cold-hearted shrew like his mother, or to a cheating gold-digger, as his unfortunate younger brother had. And now the world was threatening to turn full circle, he acknowledged grimly. His mother was putting pressure on him to marry years before he was ready to embrace the institution. Why was he even listening to her? Unfortunately, Daniele's last heartbreaking request of his brother had been that Aristide strive to be kinder and more understanding of their mother's unpleasant nature. It was a tall order, but Aristide was still attempting to be tolerant out of respect for his late twin's memory, and to make allowances for his mother's tragic past. For the sake of the family, Daniele had urged, because family had meant everything to his twin. Sadly, a great deal less to Aristide. Suitable marital prospects were served up to Aristide at every family event he attended, and it had become seriously annoying. After all, his plan had always been to stay single until he was middle-aged. Only then would he marry to provide the next generation. He had no perfect candidate in mind, but then he didn't believe a perfect woman existed. He had, however, already considered the desirable attributes his wife should possess. She would have to be beautiful, wealthy in her own right, and of a maternal nature. That last trait was non-negotiable. Nobody knew better than Aristide what it had been like to grow up with a cold, cruel
Sample complete. Ready to continue?